He obtained his BS Mining Engineering degree at the Mapua Institute of Technology in 1976 and was a placer in the Mining Board examination in that same year. He has substantial hands-on experience on mining projects located in and outside the Philippines. Before he joined Rapu-Rapu Minerals in 2003 as a project engineer, to general operations, to president, he worked in different mining companies engaged in gold, coal, and copper exploration and mining. After his graduation at Mapua, he worked as a draw control supervisor and as an underground planning engineer in Atlas Mining for 3 years. In 1979 to 1984, he joined Masbate Gold Operations as pit planning engineer and open pit foreman. He worked with Montenegrin Mining Coal Project as mine superintendent from 1985 to 1987. And then he joined the exploration team of Lodestar Mining Corporation as a senior mining engineer from 1988 to 1989. In 1990, he worked with Goldfields Philippines, Inc. as mine coordinator, planning specialist, then as mine operations manager in Bukit Young Gold Mine, Sendirian Berhad, Sarawak, Malaysia. He joined Tampakan Copper Project from 1995 to 2002 as its senior mining engineer, all the way up to becoming the operations manager. As the president of Rapu-Rapu Minerals, Inc., a multi-awarded company in terms of safety and environmental management, and an ISO 1400 to 2004 certified, he is responsible for the mining operations, exploration, safety, environment, social, and compliance to the regulatory requirements of the Rapu-Rapu Polymetallic Project. He was awarded as the most outstanding mining engineer for mine management by PIMSIA in 2009. Let me read you once again the message of Leo Hasareno about this company. He says, Leo, your featured mining company today has a special reputation. It is a living testimony of how a mine can rise from an incident and become a stalwart of responsible mining. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear about that. Please put your hands together and join me give a very warm welcome to our speaker, the president of Rapu-Rapu Minerals, Inc., Mr. Roger Corpus.
Good afternoon, gentlemen and ladies. My presentation is about the success of the Rapu-Rapu Polymetallic Project operations. This presentation will show how the project was able to overcome operational difficulties, the consequence of environmental incidents, and how the project was raised to world-class standard. The outline of my presentation will start from general information, followed by environmental management, the regulatory and social responsibility of the project, community development assistance program, other activities and commitments, and finally the conclusion. For the location and accessibility of the project, it is located in a small island in Rapu-Rapu that became known not only locally but globally because of the two environmental incidents that happened during the first year of operation. It is about 45 kilometers away from Legazpi City that will take you about 2 hours and 30 minutes to reach by a commercial boat. And from Manila to Legazpi, about 5 minutes by plane. This is our mine development area with a total hectareage of 180. To show you some of the pictures of our mine development area, we have here the wharf, which is located in one direct impact barangay. And then the open pit, another impact barangay area. This is the north wall of the pit. And then the waste dump area. And then the lower tailings storage facility where we store our tailings, located again in another barangay. And the tailings dam embankment, the process plant, the camp, and then the environmental area. About the two environmental incidents that happened during the first year of operation, the first one was in October 11, 2005, when the pump failed and the tailings backflowed towards the event pond. And some of the excess slurries flowed towards two creeks, but fortunately there were several rock dams that prevented the flow of slurries, and only effluent flowed downstream of the creeks and towards the seas. This was considered a minor incident, and in a week of rehabilitation, we're given green light to resume the operation. However, in October 31, there was again another incident that happened in the tailings dam because of the continuous heavy rainfall. And because of that, the operations group constructed a drain so that the water will flow instead of breaching the embankment towards the environmental areas. Unfortunately, because of successive rainfall, the floor of the drain and the slope of the drain were eroded and flowed towards environmental ponds, but proceeded towards the creeks and coastal areas and to the floor of the ocean. Because of these environmental incidents, the Pollution Adjudication Board required us to comply with 24 conditions, and then the Mine Rehabilitation Fund Committee, 15 conditions, or a total of 39 conditions. We were ready to resume operation in about a year of rehabilitation. However, a very strong typhoon hit the island with strength of about 300 kilometers per hour. I can show you some of the pictures here of the damage. And out of the damage, very fortunate that we have the major infrastructure, the tailings dam, which were intact together with the tailings storage areas. So these are the pictures of the buildings. Now you look at the accommodation houses, the extent of the damage, the process plant, the maintenance shop, the office building, and then the warehouse, and our wharf. And it was only in January, end of January, where we were about to begin the resumption, and in the first week of February, we started the operation. For the environmental management, in every mining company operating has impacts in the operation. In our project, particularly the mining operations, we have acid mine drainage, siltation and dust, aesthetics. At the base metal processing, we have water pollution, air pollution, and in other areas of the mine development area, we have solid waste and noise. For the AMD management, we have source control, wherein the potentially acid-forming rocks are progressively encapsulated. And for the mitigation control, we have silt structures across the creeks, like the gabions, rock dams, and silt fences. And then for the treatment of the AMD, we have the lime dosing, the wetlands, and anoxic limestone drains. This is the picture of our tailings storage facility embankment. As you can see there's a brown line, which is our clay core. This will be used in encapsulating the acid or the potentially acid-forming rocks. And then this would include the encapsulation of the tailings stored in the tailings storage facility. For the passive treatment, we have a wetland which was constructed in year 2006 and is still working. We have the AMD treatment facility. Before we were treating it manually, and now it is fully mechanized with the use of 2 agitators and 2 compressors. And we have pH monitoring, which is online and connected to an office in the mine development area, and then to the administration building, wherein everybody can see what's happening in the effluent at the environmental facility. For the tailings management, we build the embankment according to design specification, and we have representative from our designer, the GHD, that goes there every month, at least 2 weeks a month. And we maintain 5-meter freeboard as required by the regulators. And we have concrete spillway from tailings storage facility towards the environmental ponds. And then we provide field environmental mitigating unit. And this is only used if we want to treat non-compliant water in order for us to maintain a 5-meter freeboard. And then we have regular piezometer readings at the clay core. This is the picture of the tailings dam starting from 2005 and up to present, which is already at 170 meters above sea level, the final elevation of the tailings storage facility. Our guys are continuously monitoring the dam stability. We take a daily reading on the piezometers, and we monitor the quality of water downstream of the embankment. This is our field environmental mitigating unit, as mentioned. This will be used in case we discharge non-compliant water. For the silt management, we try to conserve the existing flora, and we have established buffer zone and mini forests, and of course the silt control structures. And we have management of the slope and erosion control and filtration system. This is our mine development area showing the thick vegetation around the camp. And we have buffer zone and mini forest. Before, these areas were filled with grasses, and now it is thickly vegetated. This is just a part of our silt control structures, wherein we have silt fences and then the vetiver grass to control this erosion of the slope. And then we have gabions and rock dams that will store the silt. And this is the picture of our sedimentation ponds. We have sedimentation pond number 1 and number 2, and the polishing pond before it flows down to our environmental facility. For the water management, from the process plant, the tailings will be discharged to the tailings storage facility, and then the water will be used for the processing. And then, in case of rainfall, the runoff will flow towards the environmental facility, including the under drain, and then it will flow to the wetland, and then towards the bodies of water. If you notice, we have only one discharge. So we can easily treat any AMD. We have also solid waste management, and then we have hazardous waste disposal area, and the provision of material recovery facility for recyclable and reusable waste. And also the air pollution control. There is a power plant stock sampling by the DNR accredited third party, and we continue to have dust suppression. We have nursery with a capacity of 50,000 seedlings, and these are the areas that we are rehabilitating progressively. This is the environmental area. And then we are in partnership with the DNR ERDS for the research study on remediation of mine-out areas. This is for the closure activity. And then we have sampling points in the mine development area, and the red one is for the operation water, the blue one for the fresh water, and then the light green is for the marine sampling, and then the light blue is for the monitoring of the islands in the coastal areas. This is the location of our air quality monitoring, and this is the site for marine survey. It is not only done in the direct and indirect impact barangays, but half of the Rapu-Rapu Island. This is in one barangay, another barangay. Tinupan is the indirect impact barangay of our project, another indirect impact barangay. This is a direct impact barangay. So with this, around, and towards indirect impact barangay. We maintain biodiversity, and we discourage people from hunting the birds, lizards, and other animals in the area. We do compliance audit. The MMT does a quarterly monitoring in the project development area. And we have annual health monitoring by third party, and then external environmental consultant support. This is the group from Korea. In 2006, we had a training on EMS, Environmental Management System, that lead us to certification on ISO 14001:2004, in 2007 for RRPI, and then in 2008 for RMI, and then in 2008 to 2010, we passed the surveillance audit, and there was a reassessment audit on RRPI, and it passed again. So this is our certificates for ISO 14001. And the third highlight of my presentation is the compliance of the company on regulatory and social responsibility. For the social development and management program, we spent about 70.7 million from 2007 up to 2011 on capacity and capability building, socioeconomic infrastructures, health and sanitation, livelihood employment, education and training. And this year, we have a budget of 40.2 million for SDMP and 12.6 million for IEC and mining technology and geosciences development. We will be spending more because we have unspent amount in 2010 and 2011, and this would probably around an amount of almost 100 million pesos. For the program in the SDMP, we have capability buildings, training on integrated farming, and then organizational capability assessment, cooperative development, assistance to infrastructure development and support services, facilitating economic activities such as the development, construction, and maintenance of farm-to-market roads, water systems, post-harvest facilities, bridges, and electricity. These are the pictures of some of our projects: the path, walk, bridge, and stairs, footbridge, water system, and stage breakwater in 2 barangays, which is very important in coastal areas. Seafood noodle factory building construction, daycare centers, construction of chapels in 3 barangays, and then barangay hall and street lighting, gensets, 3-room school building, upgrading of water station, and then we have also enterprise development and networking programs such as hog raising project, fishing, seafood noodle production, goat raising, garments, vegetable nursery production, the raising of native chicken, consumer store, and marine fish hatchery. These are the pictures of some of our livelihood projects. Then we have access to health services and facilities to the community, the provision of health facilities, health services, medicine, and other related health services to different communities, not only to the direct and indirect barangays, but other areas that request our assistance. We have also supplemental feeding as part of the integrated health and wellness program, and access to education and educational support programs. For the SDMP beneficiaries on educational assistance for this school year, we have 258 high school grantees, 57 in college, and 48 in vocational courses. And we also support 6 daycare centers. For the information, education, and communication activities, we have technical orientation and site visits in different barangays of Rapu-Rapu. We also have orientation and training on safety and first aids, like the rescue and transport training, and not only limited in Rapu-Rapu, but outside Rapu-Rapu and as far as Legazpi, Albay, and Sorsogon. And then we have water search and rescue as well. For the mining technology and geosciences development program, we have 90 scholars taking up mining engineering, chemical engineering, geology, sanitary engineering, and environmental science. For the community development assistance program, which is part of our corporate social responsibility, we assist in feeding program and also in the school for those who are less fortunate and, of course, those who are thin. And we assist in the program of the President for the National Greening Program. And we also assist in the construction of the chapel. And we have scholars for high school, elementary, and college, which is not part of this DMP. And just very recently, we started the construction of a 2-story building in Rapu-Rapu Poblacion. That would cost us about 8 million. And we assisted also the construction of a basketball court in the National High School of Poblacion, Rapu-Rapu, and then the repair of Mananao Elementary School. For other activities and commitments, we rehabilitated an area which was impacted even before the start of the construction and development. This is the area where there was tremendous impact during the exploration because the flow of the AMD from the adit during exploration were discharged here, and this all look reddish during the time when the construction development was started. And what we did, we rehabilitated from the upstream of the area downstream and the coastal areas of this particular creek. You can see the difference before and then after. Another is the coastal area. Now it's planted with agoho trees. And then the Halostone Gully, one of the creeks of the mine development area, now fully rehabilitated. Another one. And then another one. And just recently, we established Butterfly Farm as part of RP's efforts on sustainable development and environmental protection. And then we normally have an annual coastal and coral cleanup in partnership with the community. And we participate on World Water Day. And the Earth Day, we have a lot of activities involving the contractors, employees, and the communities. And then the World Environment Day. And recently we have this activity, artificial reef, in one of the direct impact barangays. And we also have activities in the Philippine, during the Philippine Environment Month. And other commitments is the adherence to local and international standards for occupational health and safety. We aim to get OHS AS 18001 this year, and hopefully we can get it. And then because of our focus on safety, we achieved recently 10 million man-hours without lost time incident in July 22 this year, and still counting. We have paid in advance the final mine rehabilitation and decommissioning plan, although we were not required to deposit unless the FMRDP document is approved by the MGB. And in July, we funded about 156 million already out of the 158 million indicated budget in the FMRDP. And as mentioned earlier, we committed to the National Greening Program for a total of 101 hectares. And we donated to the provincial government of Albay worth 1 million for environmental monitoring equipment. We are benchmarking against international environmental standards using our consultant from Korea, the ERM. Our aim before was just a mere compliance, and then we maintain compliance, but our final objective, which we are doing now, is going beyond compliance. In conclusion, the Rapu-Rapu polymetallic project that has experienced and faced with many environmental and social issues could be transformed into a successful mine through responsible mining, good community relations, and strong partnership with local government units and regulatory bodies, but driven by commitments to strive for excellence. And as a result of that, we received awards from 2009 up to present. The recent one is the Asia Responsible Entrepreneurship Award for Social Empowerment category in Singapore. The success of this project could not happen without people, human resources. And From the top, the CEO, who is very supportive of this project, helped a lot in making sure that we are successful in the Rapu-Rapu project, because this is their first project here in the Philippines. I would like to request our CEO to stand up, Mr. Cho. Mr. Cho is resigning already, and he wants, or he is planning to have a company or a consortium, and his main objective is to develop a mining company here in the Philippines. And of course, we have here Mark Campos, the president of RPI, that without him, we cannot achieve the recovery that we wanted, meaning we cannot make money out of this project, and we cannot implement the necessary environmental requirements or support to the project to make the project successful and prevent any environmental incident that would happen similar to what happened in 2005. And of course, my supporter, my wife, and my son. And then we have our colleagues there, Attorney Bebong, Ed, and Milbin. And of course, the Filipino management last time, that without them, we cannot resume operation under the leadership of Mr. Sonny Dominguez. And the support of the former Secretary of the DNR, Mr. Ramos. He was very supportive of the project last time. And the rest of the people who resigned already, like Mr. Alex Limosnero, who was the former Vice President of the project for mining. And the contractors, who are not only contractors, but also partners in our operation, like Delta, Galeo, Orica, the drilling company, and other small contractors. Without the resources that we have, we cannot show to the people, to the mining industry, that we can be successful to this project. I thank you all for inviting me here for this luncheon meeting. Good afternoon.
And before we start the Q&A, let me just say that I think we have ample information about what a responsible mining company does. And when we talk about EO 79 and the claim that the government share is insufficient, you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, especially those of you who are not, that don't have a mine of your own, that there is a lot that is being spent by a company that is not counted or is not even on the radar screen of the government when it talks it's not getting a fair share. Mind you, all of those schools, all of those hospitals, all of that expense that a company undertakes in a mining project to help the people should be coming from the pockets of the government. But this is an example of how a mining company is actually spending on behalf of the government to help the community that is around them. So I hope that when you go back and talk to people about government share, that you could actually remember this presentation and say, well, you see, there's a lot more that's not counted, but there's a lot more that the mining project does for a community that the government does not mention or doesn't even report. So having said that, let's now open the floor for a few questions. Roger is here to answer them. May I have a question on the floor? Yes? Oh, you want the beer? Mr. Chaval wants a beer. Get him a beer right now. Anyone? I'll start with the questions, if I may. Roger, what continues to be the most important challenge that you face? I see that you've done a lot, but I'm sure there remain challenges. And what would you regard as the top, or maybe the top two challenges that you still face, and what are you doing about overcoming those challenges?
Very good question. We have this environmental compliance certificate, 29 conditions. And the government imposed this environmental compliance because if we will not follow this, like what happened in 2005, we will be stopped again. And two of the most important things that we need to implement is, one, the acid mine drainage, and number two, the safety of the open pit and the tailings dam. That's very important, and we give emphasis in the construction of these facilities so that we won't have any disaster. Our company would be responsible, and the people behind this operation would be responsible. We do not want to be imprisoned.
That's a serious challenge, but I think you're doing a good job. Any questions from the floor? Yes? Yes, sir. Alan.
What about your reserves and the longevity of your mine? How much longer do you think that you'll be operating on Rapu Rapu?
We are continuously doing exploration, and we cannot tell at present what would be the life of the mine. But based on the records that we submitted to MGB, the mine will be only up to end of 2013. But we're trying our best to conduct exploration. So we cannot tell at the present.
Thank you very much. Any other questions? There's a point I'd like to raise in the draft IRR. The draft IRR of EO 79 has a strange provision that says that what will go into public bidding are projects that would include those of expired mineral agreements like MPSAs. As you know, mineral production sharing agreements have 25 years with a chance to be renewed for another 25 years, which is found in the Constitution, which is found in the Mining Act and the contract itself. However, our draft IRR to EO 79 says, expired MPSAs include not only those that have expired after a renewal and then ends at 50 years, but those that expire after the first 25. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's obvious that there's an issue to be had there. That's really a violation, in my view, of both the Constitution, the Mining Act, and the contract. So that's something that we're obviously going to have to fight. It really does not make sense, and whoever put it in there does not understand mining. So that's a challenge we face, and I hope that it gets solved before pretty soon, before the expiration of yours. But you still have many years ahead of you, right? Okay. So, any questions on the floor? There being none, I'd like you to all put your hands together to thank Roger and, of course, Mr. Cho for a brilliant story on the Rapu Rapu mine.